ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। रामानुजदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्। சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவெங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பரமொய்யுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்க வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
Generally, all of us forget to say the last pronunciation. For example, Rajagopalan also will forget a visarga, just 2 dots in the last taniyan. Vadidvipa shirobhanga panchanana parakramaha. The H will be there, but and we are not hearing him saying H. And you also, I also hear you without H. Shriman Venkatanathāryaha. Last letter is H. So you must be rather clear in while we are hearing you. So you must say Shriman Venkatanathāryaha. Then Kavitarkika Kesa. Last letter is H, not Y-A. Shriman Venkatanathārya. Supposing you say without H, that means you are addressing the preceptor. You are calling the preceptor.
But correct me if I'm wrong. But shouldn't you only pronounce the visarga fully before danda or double danda, and also before sha akshara?
No, there are so many formations in adding visarga to the next letter. You know that. So while you say danda and dvidanda, we have to pronounce it invariably. Whereas if it is in between 2 words and with the different letters, it goes with different pronunciation. What I say, I mean, what you said as example is sha, shakti sha, and therefore that will also take the form sha. So you say isha, sh, or even I mean, just sh is enough. So visarga will take up the form sh and then sh. That is shakara. That is palatal. Okay. Then we have ka. Here your kavitarkika kesari ka comes, so H remains the same. Also ka ga, I mean ka, these 2 letters, these 2 hard consonants, it remains the same. Pronunciation is H. Whereas when you take the ga, 3rd letter, Ga, then it will take the form R, irga, RGA. then it's on. So it takes a lot of forms, lot of pronunciations. For example, if it is followed by S, Saraswati, say for example, Sarasija Nabaha. So yes, the yes will be preceded by another yes by Visarga, replacing Visarga. So double S will be there. So you have so many deviations. And of course, you must remember of course, Visarga Sandhi is a separate chapter in grammar. And I do it by practice, not by knowing the rules, but by practice. I don't know actually I don't remember the rules at all. I didn't study well also. So by experience, by reading it again and again, we understand that this letter, the Visarga will change into this letter. Or sometimes it disappears. It is dropped. It is dropped. For example, Ma comes. The previous Visarga is dropped. It's called Lopaha, as Keshadas Swami knows it very well. So L-O-P-A, that's called drop, D-R-O-P. Meaning it disappears from the verse also. Only when we want to have meaning, then we will add Visarga and understand. Otherwise, we will not have Visarga at all. In so many letters, Visarga will also be dropped. And please remember Venugopalan Swami, Visarga is actually the life of Sanskrit. Just like hi, as we say in Hindi. I think you know Hindi very well. Hi, the letter hi. And of course, finishing verb of a sentence. No? And it has got also what you call Chandra Bindu over hi, and then dot over hi, and so on. So the hi, the letter hi, yeah, is heard often in Hindi speaking written form. So we also have Visarga's role like hi in Sanskrit. So it's very important. So initially, the Visarga shows masculine gender words. Later on, you can understand that the Visarga occurs also in other genders, especially feminine gender, it occurs. You would have heard about a word called Pratipadikam. Pratipadikam is what you call basic word, root word. As you have root word, for example, English words have got root from Greek, Latin, and so on. So in that way, you have root words. In the root words, Visarga may not be there. Will not be there. Visarga will not be there in root words. But that doesn't mean you can use it as it is. We have to be very careful in using Sanskrit words. The language is very tough. Fortunately, I have jumped into it. Therefore, I am swimming and swimming in the hot. I mean, what we call heavy current. So let us have. So let us. Let us later. Take the others who come later. So we were seeing that the 5 timed actions are mentioned in importantly in the most important book called Jaya. Jaya, as you said, as we know, victory. So Jaya is name of the Samhita. So we call it Jayakhya Samhita. Akhya meaning just name. The name is only Jaya, 2 letters only. Jaya, meaning victory. Of course, it is in masculine gender. So Samhita is a feminine gender word. We say Jaya Samhita, Jayakhya Samhita, Jayanama Samhita, and anyway. So in order that, generally, so about 2-letter words are joined with some other word so that the pronunciation is clear. When we say Jaya, we may not understand what one says. So Jaya's Akhya, Jaya name, then Samhita is book. Samhita is actually Vedic book. Samhita is the name of the portion of Vedas, therefore. So Jayakya Samhita is very important book for Pancaratra tradition, and therefore Jayakya Samhita contains this Panchaka Vyavastha, arrangement by 5 times, and Nitya, it is permanent. And if you want to change over to some other 4 times, 6 times, for example, Chidambaram, Nataraja Puja, Shiva Puja is held for 6 times every day. Kala Puja, they say, 6 timed puja. We don't know what, but that is Kamyadikam. Last letter, last word in the page is 51, called Kamyadikam. According to your interest in getting the materialistic pleasures of this world, and that is called Kamyadikam. Kamya meaning for some materialistic purpose we do puja. For example, many people come to the temple, worship the Lord. They ask the priest to perform archana. When you say archana, meaning saying the names of God and offering flowers or something else. Then they say their gotra, the family name, the clan, CLAN, and then they give the name, give the birth star, and give the Rashi, the zodiac, and then ask for something, marriage, child, education, job, and so on. So, Anyate Kamyadikam. So, whatever is different from this 5-timed procedure in Jayakya Samhita, meaning others are desire-based. Desire-based. So, we stopped here. So, we go to 52. Evam, in this way, Dinacharya Maryadayam. Maryada meaning limit or limitation. So Dinacharya is daily duty, daily routine. Dina is day, but it means here daily. So Dinacharya, Charya means action. Just like Karya is Charya. That is, we are following. So we are following a daily routine. And there is a limit for it. Maryadayam Sthitayam. Limit in the sense, rules governing daily tradition. So Sthitayam, these two words are in Saptami Vibhakti, or what you call locative case, and meaning you start the translation when. So when there is a limit, when there is a limitation, or when there is a restriction on the diurnal duties, in the sense daytime or daily, you can also include night up to say 9 or 10 o'clock. So Dinacharya is daily routine. So when you have some rules governing daily routine, Keshanchit, for some people, Traikalya Archanadi Vidhanani, Traikalya, 3 timings. Traikalya, 3 times. Archanadi. So they do Archana in the sense, Archana also means worship, but generally Archana meaning offering something by chanting the names of God. So Archana, Adi, so etc., meaning it can involve full worship also. So Vidhanani, arrangements. Vidhanani means arrangements. So the procedures like Archana, etc., for 3 times a day. Then Vishu Vaya, Vishu Vayana Uparaga Janma Traya Dwadashi Parva Shravana Adi Vaisheshika Archanani Api Yathabalam Tat Antahpatena Netavyani. Before going to this long word, we just see the title on the left side, dark letters. Panchakalika Dharme. While we follow a process called 5-timed actions, Tachidra Achidratva Vibhaga. So we are now discussing in this paragraph. Vibhagaha means a division. So in this division, in this paragraph, we see good things, other good points, and removal of negative points. Both are there. Chidra means hole, H-O-L-E, in the sense loophole, we say, loophole. Satchidra meaning good loophole. For example, if a priest follows a particular tradition and he changes over to some other tradition, he is allowed to do it. He has a concession to do it. That is called Satchidra. And there are rules which are very strict. You cannot deviate. You cannot imagine to deviate. Therefore, they are called Achidra. So it has got a deeper meaning what we call a portion in scriptures called Achidram. Achidram in the sense there is no deviation from the rule. There is no disobedience of the rule. Now, what should a priest do in some particular times? What are those times? Vishu is it? Vishu, I think it's we call it according to Kerala tradition, New Year Day. Chitra month, that is Mesha Masa. Mesha Masa, we call it Aries, Mesha Masa. First month, first day, Vishu. So you can add it as Vishuvayana. I think Vayana has no meaning separately. So Vishuvayana, Vishu, Ayana you can say, Ayana, meaning Dakshinayana and Uttarayana, meaning northern 6 months and northern semester and southern semester. Meaning the sun moves away from the center, either to the north or to the south, according to the 6 months calendar. So Ayana is Dakshinayana first day, Uttarayana first day. So I can give you later the month, the first day of the month. It must be Adi in Tamil. Yashoda Swami will give you the 2 months. Actually, Thai month is called after Dhanur Masa, you have Makara Masa. So the first day of the Makara Masa will be the Uttarayana beginning. So here Ayana, then Uparaga. Uparaga is eclipse. So during the first New Year day, then during the first 6 months of southern movement of the sun, SUN, and northern movement of the sun. So 2 days in a year. Then again, Uparaga, namely eclipse day, either it is solar or lunar. Then Janma, your own birthday, because these are all Kamyam, because we are doing Archana for our own selfish purpose personally. Therefore, Janma. Then Traya, Janma Traya. Traya, how does it? No, I don't know. Traya is 3. Dwadashi is 12th day. That is what we call feast day. After Ekadashi, the fasting day, we have Dwadashi. Parva is Paurnami or Amavasya day, new moon day or no moon day, in the sense full moon day, new moon day and full moon day, Parva. Then Shravana, according to the star of the Lord, especially Srinivasa of Tirupati and Upalepan of Upalepan Kovil, Tamil Nadu. So Shravanam is the name of the star, birth star of the Lord. You can celebrate any birth star of the Lord. Here in Srirangam, Revati, Rohini, Jeshta, so many stars are there. And also Punarvasu. So there are 4 stars where they are celebrated. Shravana, then Adi, etc. Then Vaisheshika meaning, it doesn't mean the darshana here, it's something special, that's all. Vaisheshika means special. Archanani api. So what do we do is, the priest does a special archana during the first year of the new year, first day of the new year, then Dakshinayana, Uttarayana first days, then eclipse days, birthdays, 12th days, the full moon day and new moon day, then Shravana, the star called Shravana, etc. If it is Lord Shiva, we use the word Tiruvadirai. Tiruvadirai. Ardra is the name of the star. Only 2 stars out of the 27 has got the appending, what do you call, title, honorific title, Thiru, Sri. So Shravanam is Tiruvonam, Ardra is Tiruvadirai. All the other 25 stars do not have the title. So Ardra Nakshatram is for Lord Shiva, and therefore the Tiruvonam is for the Lord Srinivasa, and especially Venkateshwara, we say. So here, Yatha Balam, according to the capacity. Suppose you get donors, what we call sponsors, do it. And there is Yatha Balam, as is available. That's Antah Patena Netavya. Now, when we do all these special archanas, we have to include them within the frame of the 5 timings. That is very important. You cannot do it outside the 5 timings. So Tadanta Patena. So make them fall into one of the 5 timings. So Tadanta Patena Netavyani. Netavyani means must be performed, must be led, LED, must be led. Suppose there is no power, in the sense there is no capacity. Ashaktam. If one is not capable, if one is weak in doing this, and in the sense materials are not available, time is not available, for example. I mean, time should be available, but there is some other busy engagement, maybe personal engagement. Ashaktam, adhikritya, over the incapability. So that is based on the incapability, eva only. Samakritya. So you collect materials according to one's capacity. If there is no capacity, or limited capacity, you do whatever you can. Samakvaya. Anushtanam kvachita vidhi. In some places, kvachita meaning in some places. Vidhiyate meaning it is ruled. So the rule is given. What is the rule? You can do it according to your power, according to the capacity. Anushtanam. Anushtanam is follow up the rituals according to one's own capacity. Then Satchidra Panchakalata cha Tavan Matra Yogyasya. Now, while we adopt the 5 timings in the actions, I remind ourselves, namely, Abhigamana, Upadana, Ijya, Swadhyaya, and Yoga. These are the Panchakala Charya, Prakriya. So if you have Satchidra, so Satchidra meaning if you have some loopholes, in the sense, if you can have some concessions, then Tavan Matra Yogyasya. So again, the priest must be careful about using it minimum. He cannot take advantage of the concession too much. He should not take advantage of the concession. He must not misuse the advantage given. He must not abuse the advantage given. Then anyartha karmantaritattvam satchidrat. Meaning, so what is the meaning of a loophole? What is the meaning? Some lacunae is there. Lacuna are there. What is the deficiency? Meaning, because we are including some other actions according to our whims and fancies. According to our will, we aim at something else and we include some other action which are not ordained in the Pancaratra tradition. For example, you take a Hanuman temple, Maruti temple. You cannot use the temple at any time, which as you like. There are people who insist on offering something. For example, they give a apupa mala, vada mala. We call a cake, the tur dal cake. So vada mala. So for Hanuman. They want to have what you call the betel leaf mala for Hanuman. Suddenly, because some favorite person is asking, so the temple is opened by the priest and offered. Many people may think that it is not bad. It is not bad. So, and again, they come with specific desires, specific worldly desires. So then, what will it become? Anyartha karma, anyartha karma. For some other purpose, anyartha. Some other purpose, artha, karma, action, antaritatvam. Within the 5 timing frame, you include some other worldly desires according to the whims and fancies of the people devotees who come there. That is called Satchidratva. That is called a tradition with the loopholes. Now, we go to the verse here. Dwadasha Akshara Tattva Nyeha Chatur Vyuha Vibhagavit Achidra Pancha Kalajnaha Sahatu Bhagavataha Smutaha. Whom do you call a perfect Bhagavata? Bhagavata meaning a true devotee of God. I add a true. When you say devotee, means true devotee. There is no question of whether there is a untrue devotee, false devotee, and so on. Devotee means good devotee. Doesn't mean there is a bad devotee, there is a good devotee, better devotee, best devotee, worst devotee. There are no categorization like that. But devotee means good devotee. He is the best devotee. So Bhagavataha meaning as we understand, one who is interested, concentrated, his mind, one who is totally devoted to God, to God's thought, word, and deed. He must be fully engaged, busy with only God's thoughts. So, word, deed, and mind. He must engage his mind, word, and deed. He must say the devotional songs. His actions should always involve God. So he is called the Bhagavata. And now this Bhagavata is given definition. Smritaha generally meaning remembered. A good devotee is remembered by all. Everybody watches his action and understand he is the best devotee. So Sahatu Bhagavata Smritaha, he is the right devotee as remembered. Why? Because he must have 3 qualifications. Number 1, Dwadasha Akshara Tattva Jnana. So Dwadasha 12, Dvi is 2, Dasha is 10, 2 plus 10 is 12. So Akshara is syllable, Tattva is inner meaning, Nyaha meaning one who knows. So one who knows the inner meaning of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is the mantra, Dwadasakshara mantra. You are all familiar with that. And therefore, so Dwadasakshara Tattvajnaha. It is not enough that you know the mantra, all the syllables rightly, correctly, you can read it in Sanskrit and so on. You must put your heart and soul into the mantra. Remember that. Remember the meaning of the mantra. Always doing puja from the morning till evening. Evening in the sense yogas. While you meditate, we must remember the meaning of the mantra. It is not enough that we utter the mantra. Uttering the syllables is least important. You can do it by mind also. It is not orally sound. So Dwadasha Akshara Tattvajna. You must know the meaning of Vasudevaya. Why it is in dative case Vasudevaya. Bhagavate, what is the meaning? What is the meaning of these two letters Bhaga? Why do you say Namo? Why do you say Namaha? So Namaha involves 100 pages of explanation. So why do you say Om? What are the three letters, varnas in the single syllable called Om? A, U, Ma. What are the meanings? That is why Keshavdas Swami wants me to take up Rakasya Trayasa. Very detailed account of just A, U and Ma. And of course the three secrets, namely number one, Ashtakshara, 8-syllable spell. The second is Dvaya, 2-sentenced spell. 3, the Charama Sloka of Krishna Avatara, which all of us know as Sarvadharmantarita. Now this is the meaning of this, every syllable connected with the next syllable should be understood. It's not easy. Please don't think that it is easy. Dvadashakshara Tattva is very difficult to understand. But we will go through. But it is not mere learning of these 12 syllables. Please remember. We must imbibe it. We must feel it. We must experience it. We cannot tell others. Have you experienced? Yes. Can you tell me? Can you tell us the experience? No, it is not possible. It is about inspiration. It is what you call intuition. It is a revelation. It is understanding the grace, the benign grace, B-E-N-I-G-N, benign grace of the Lord. You have to understand the grace of the Lord. Because we are doing puja to Vasudeva. What is Vasudeva? What is the meaning of Vasudeva? Is it Vasudeva's son or Vasunam Devaha, Lord of riches, Lord of money? Then he must know the second qualification is Chatur Vyuha Vibhagavit. He must know the 4 names, not mere names, Aniruddhaha, Pradyumnaha, Sankarshanaha, again Vasudeva. What is the meaning of Vasudeva in the 12-syllable mantra spell? And what is the meaning of Vasudeva in this context of 4 rupas, forms called Vyuha? Vyuha generally means arrangement. We have heard of it in arrangement of the army in Mahabharata war. That is not that. The Vyuha is what we call our attraction, our falling into the net of the Lord. So he creates a Vyuha and we are to follow. We are to fall, not only follow, but to fall on. What is the difference between Sankarshana and Aniruddha? Between Aniruddha and Pradyumna, between Pradyumna and Vasudeva, again between Sankarshana and Vasudeva. Vibhagavit, one who knows the division, Vibhag. In among the Chaturvyuha, 4 Vyuha Rupas. You cannot translate the word Vyuha in any language, any other language. So Achidra Panchakala, then third qualification of the Bhagavata is Achidra Panchakalajna. He must know faultless tradition of Pancaratra. What are the 5 timings? Why there are 5 timings? What is the meaning of these 5 timings? What is the significance of each action in the 5 timings? What are the rules governing these 5 timings? What are the exceptions in these 5 timings? What are don'ts in the 5 timings? That's more important. what should we not do during this fight time? So Achchadra. So clearly we must understand. So if he understands, then he is called Bhagavat. A very strict definition by Swami Vedanta Deshika here. It is not, I told you, he is not mincing matters. He is very clear. We have been going through a lot of pages, say 51 pages we have gone through the Pancaratra Raksa. But though we might have mentioned the definition of a Bhagavata earlier, this definition is more important than any other definition that he said earlier. He would have said earlier. Because Pancaratra Raksha stresses this point deeply. While we go through about 140 pages are there further, totally 140 plus pages are there. But coming to just almost one third, now we start in reality that we are talking about Lord Sriman Narayana in particular and with a deeper sense. So here the definition of a Bhagavad. So I repeat, a Bhagavata, a devotee is defined as the knower of the principles behind the 12 syllables. Number one. Number two, he must know completely the division and differences among the four Vyuha forms of Lord, namely Sankarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, and Vasudeva. And he must know the Pancharatra tradition with the 5 timings without any lacunae, without any deficiency. He must know the rules correctly. He must know how to follow them correctly. He must know how to teach them correctly. He must know how to adopt them correctly. So iti tu thus tu but purnasya stutihi. Purnasya mukhya adhikarinaha stuti. One may find very curiously the meaning here. Who are the important officers in the temple? The managers are they important, more important than the priests? No. Please remember. Priests are the most important people in the officers in the temple. Today it's topsy-turvy. So we say Mukhya Adhikarina means important officers, important people rightful to the puja in the temple. He are priests. But how should be a priest? Purnasya. He must be a complete man. A complete man is called, so Mukhyadhikarinaha is a singular number word. Please remember. It's a singular number word. So don't think it's a plural. Plural also has got the same form. We are talking about the Shakti Vibhakti, genitive case or possessive case of the word Mukhyadhikarina. We are not talking of the Prathama Vibhakti, same spelling. Mukhyadhikarina also means many officers, important officers in the temple. Important people in the temple. No, this is singular. Please remember. A complete in charge of the temple, important in charge of the temple, is praised like this. Stutihi. You can, of course, praise him if he is very, very good, according to the definition. So, natu tasyaiva panchakalika bhagavatatva pratipadana param. Again, please remember, this stresses the point more and more here. He cannot deviate from this definition. In fact, when we praise him, when we adore him, he must not get elated. He must not become haughty. So that is what it says. Meaning, We are not to praise him, just to pay our gratitude, sense of gratitude. We may praise him, we may adore him, we may eulogize him, we may say good words to him, but that is not intended. He must not expect. He must not expect any encomia from our mouth. That is what it says. Natu, no, but no, tasyaiva, to him only, panchakalika, timed Bhagavatattva, the devotee of a five-timing tradition, Pratipadana Param. Pratipadana is explanation. He must also always do not expect, he must not expect any praise from others, devotees. Again, please remember. So we are talking, we defined, according to Deshika, we defined Bhagavata. Now, among the Bhagavatas, now there is a gradation, there is a hierarchy. And that is again Chaturvyuha Vibhagajnaha, Panchakala Parayanaha, Dvadasarakshara Nishtaha, Yaha Saha, Vai, Bhagavata Uttama. So Shandilya, the great sage, he explains in his Shandilya Samhita, says that the best devotee will be the same word, but a little different. Look at the difference between the first three words in the definition, the second three words in the next definition. Chaturvyuha Vibhaga with is there, and Nyaha is there, same meaning. Synonyms is there. Nyaha, the single letter, with is a single syllable. So both are same. Chaturvyuha Vibhaga with previously, now Vibhagyaha. Okay. But other two words are different. Look at the difference in other words. Panchakala Parayanaha, as I said earlier, it is not Achidra Panchakala. He knows that there is no deficiency in the Panchakala five-timed tradition previously. And also he must believe it. The priest must have faith over his tradition. Otherwise, there is no use of the priest. So what should he do? His mind should be busy always with the Panchakala. Meaning, he must be alert. He cannot delay. He cannot be late to any of these five times. Panchakala Parayanaha meaning engaged, busy. Parayanam is recitation. Please remember the difference between just one letter. Parayanaha is be very busy. One cannot disturb him. That's a beauty. The priest is very much engaged in his thoughts, word, and deed, and nobody can disturb his thoughts. Nobody can arrest his action. So, Panchakala Parayanaha, you will be very careful in punctuality. Not only punctuality, see, please remember, Lord Sriman Narayana's name must be in his tongue always, especially in the form of 12-syllable spell. Therefore, Dvadasha Akshara Nishtha. He must always think of the meaning of the Pranava Aksharam, Om, and then Namaha, meaning nothing belongs to him, nothing belongs to the priest. He must have what you call helplessness, karpanyam, otherwise called akinchanyam in the Sharanagati. But he is actually doing the Sharanagati here, total surrender. And therefore, he must know that the first Namaha, the word, meaning na mama. Namaha is generally, as all of us know, a salutation. You put your palms together and say Namaha, Vanakkam, Sevikirom. but doesn't stop with that. Na mama, nothing is mine. That feeling must be experienced by the priest there while saying this Dvadasaksha. Bhagavate, meaning Jnana, Bala, Vairag, Jnana, Bala, Virya, Shakti, Tejas, Aishwarya. So these 6 qualities qualifying the 2 letters called Ba and Ga, Ba and Ga in Bhagavate must be remembered therefore so that he feels very, very helpless. He is omniscient, he is omnipotent, he is omnipresent. And that feeling must be there. And his humility is wanted in Bhagavati. In Nama, he leaves out the possessive sense. He sheds his egoism. In Bhagavate, he feels very humble. In a sense, he must he gives up all his what we call possessiveness. Nothing is there for him. No power, no virility, no brightness, no power, no physical power, no mental strength, no wealth, no leadership, and no what else is it? Nothing. He doesn't have anything. That person is called Nishtha. Nishtha. Very strong word. Previously, Dvadasakshara, Tattvajna. We saw the word Dvadasakshara Tattvajna. He just knows the inner meaning of the principle of the 12 syllables. But whereas here, Dvadasakshara Nishtha. Then there another word is there. Why truly Bhagavatottamaha is the best devotee. Uttamaha is the best superlative. Bhagavata Uttaraha is better devotee. Bhagavata is positive degree, namely a devotee. Bhagavata Uttaraha meaning better devotee. Bhagavata Uttamaha is the best devotee. So Shandilya's words carry weight, though definition looks almost the same. Both definitions look almost same. They are completely different. And you can, of course, get the meaning of the second definition in the first definition itself. At the same time, the second definition also contains the first definition meaning. So we will take up Panchakalika Dharmaha Shri Bhashyakarādīnām Abhimata. We are going to discuss the preceptor Sri Ramanujacharya's opinion on the tradition of 5 timings. We are also going to discuss the other preceptors, namely Yamunacharya and Nathamuni, because Nathamuni is unknown to many. And in Swami Vedanta Deshika introduces him in only some lines in some of his works about Nathamuni. Unfortunately, his major works are lost. And we have only some bits of his work. And then, so we have very great ancestral, what you call, tradition in our Sri Vaishnava tradition. Therefore, we are going to discuss about Sri Bhashyakara. Sri Bhashyakara is Sri Ramanujacharya and others, Adinam, then Abhimata. What are their opinions? So we will be seriously discussing it in the next session tomorrow. So, thanks to, there were 5 people and now I think maybe Guraman came and left. So Swami Rajagopalan ji. Lineage.
ராமானுஜதயா பாத்ரம் ஞான வைராக்கிய பூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத் வெங்கடநாதார்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்த தேசிகம் கவிதார்க்கிக சிம்மாய கல்யாண குணசாலினே ஸ்ரீமதே வெங்கடேசாய வேதாந்த குரவே நமய வாதிதிவதிரோபங்க பஞ்சானன பராக்கிரமாசிவான் வெங்கட நாதார்யம் ஈரம் விஜயதாம் புவி சீரொன்று தூக்கும் திருவேங்கடமுடைய ஆறொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழிகள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோதாடியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேர ஓமளவும் வாழ்வு.
Kritagnyavayam. Venugopal Swami, be ready tomorrow.
Yes, Swami, sure. Swami, before we close, I have one question, please. Thank you. So you said that the priest must be a complete man. Can you just please briefly explain what do you mean by a complete man?
The complete man will have the three important qualifications. Apart from his knowledge of scriptures and the Pancaratra tradition of temple worship. The three important qualifications. These are all three important qualifications, not only qualification. Basically, he must be of good character, without vices. Without vices, because we see today people with all vices. So these three qualifications are: number one, Dwadashakshara Tattvajnaha, meaning Dwadashakshara Nishtha. 12 syllables, namely Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, must be intuitively understood. One must digest it in the heart. One must swallow in the belly. So these 12 syllables. Eat them and digest them. Become one with them. So one with the syllables. That is show our humility, show our non-possessiveness and non-egoism. That is number one. Then Panchakala Parayanaha, basically knowledge of, full knowledge of the Pancharatra tradition is necessary after reading all the books and theoretically and practically understanding from the elders how to do them. Number three is Panjami. Third one is I think Keshadas Swami should show the text one, just one word extra. Third definition. Chaturvyuha Tattvajna. What is the meaning of these four forms? Or these forms are available in Archa form? Are we talking of Sankarshana, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Vasudeva in the Archa form of the temple today? Archa form includes these four forms. Archa forms includes all incarnations. So you must find out, you must be very deep into the, what you call feeling, deep into the feeling, experience it directly. while the priest enters into the, as soon as he enters into the temple, even before entering into the temple, he must have the thoughts, engaging his mind. And after entering into the temple, he must devote himself in entirety, fully, completely to the temple Kainkariam service. Because generally people, when devotees come, we discuss their welfare, their family welfare. While discussing their family welfare, you also tell your family about your. That means you are not concentrating on the talk Lord. Whatever word that comes out of the mouth of the priest should belong to the God. That is the definition. Complete man. You all can call him a complete man.
Okay, Swami, understood. Thank you so much.
Right.
Yeah. Jai Shrimad Narayana.
For example, we are worried about food, we are worried about hunger, we are worried about so many other things of problems of life, personal, general. The temple is a holy place where only good talk must be there. We are not to discuss accidents, dangers. So this discussion should not be brought into the temple. You are not supposed to say anything personal, anything general related to the public. Only pure thoughts, namely what we call sublime thoughts from the God. To talk about any incarnation, so every word should involve God. That's all. That's a complete. Okay.
Swami, this is possible only for saints, not normally, because people are in the family. So naturally, what is happening abnormally in the world, you can, wherever they meet, they have to discuss. It is, of course, unfortunately, it is being the temple, they are meeting. So what you said is right, but we are in the worldly life. We are not saints. So it cannot be avoided. This is what my personal view. Of course, as long as we, it is as a rule, we should not. That's right. It is right. But we are in the karma. So in that
What the problem? What we say is avoid talking there too much in the temple. Too much in the
that's
temple.
great.
Just get out of the temple and talk whatever we want. Even there we do mistakes in the sense we are not like Gopikas, the cowherdesses of the Gokulam during the incarnate of Krishna. They were 24 hours by 7 deep, steep in thoughts of Lord Krishna. Whereas we are not doing. But at least in the temple, don't do that. That's what we say. In the temple, right? See, gossip is very important, very much rampant in the temple. Gossip. And especially Srirangam is notorious for it. Srirangam Mambu is. So Srirangam is, when we go around that circumambulation, we are not supposed to talk anything outside matters. That's what. See, try to.
And my view is, you should not talk ill of anybody. That is the priority. It is a priority.
Right.
That is normally the vambu comes in the way. But abnormal incidents where we cannot avoid it, so automatically by force it is coming. Oh, these are all happening, and we say this is Kali. So okay, this where unavoidable talk, not insulting anyone or not damaging anyone or not talking ill of others. As long as that is.
You have brought a very good point, but nor you are allowed to praise a devotee.
Okay. No, it should not be encouraged. What you are telling is 10%. These are also to be avoided to the core. But as long as a human being in the worldly life, which is happening abnormally, where it is not even tolerable to us, even though we are not concerned with that, we cry for it. We cry for the souls.
Right.
So it's again a sattvic.
So suppose you want to pray for the victims of some disaster. You pray in your mind. Don't make it vociferous. That's what it is. You pray in the mind that for the people, souls, individual souls who were involved as victims of the.
That is the right value of it. That is the right value of it.
Right. I get some clues from your talk.
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय வேதாந்தகுரவே நமஹ. சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய.